March 30th. This is March 30th. What you're going to witness right now is March 30th. This isn't the whole day. This is about a third of the conversations I had. A lot of my conversations, they happen off camera. They're not within camera range, or, they're hit and run, or maybe I'm just too damn lazy and I don't think anything's there and I don't turn on the recorder. And what you missed here, and in between all of this, was a robbery. A couple of kids came along and took a fistful of money out of my tip jar. But this is what it's like out there. This is a slow day. And this is why I need your help. I need you guys to go ahead and start helping me out here. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Let's give you just a little bit of idea what it's like to be out there on any given day. This conversations happen, and these are happening in sequence as they occurred. Oh, and the bullshit anymore?
Talking about bullshit. I don't believe Sessions. I saw that one over there. Sessions. They may lead to a second
special counsel. He denied it.
Yeah, I think they will. But I heard that Clapper. I heard something yesterday. Clapper, the statute of limitations expired 3 days ago for Clapper lying.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm pissed about here right now, is the dragging of these things out. I mean, it's been over a year, man.
Yeah.
And we still get Sessions running around, trying to find pot smokers?
I tell you what, if they ever find any, the DNC guilty, they would bankrupt them. There'll be another.
Well,
they would bankrupt
just the things they've admitted to.
Oh, yeah.
Admitted to. I mean, look, the whole thing, that's what is so frustrating. The DNC, it started out the DNC said their servers were hacked, but they never turned them over to the FBI to be.
They're dragging their feet.
And the Seth Rich case, everything seems to be not moving forward. We're actually seem to be moving backwards.
Not moving at all.
Yeah.
Subpoenas don't mean a damn thing.
Right. They subpoena them. What? Holder was the first attorney general to be held in contempt of Congress, and he's up there still throwing his shit at us.
The whole administration is shit. All right, I'm going to join my wife. Nice chatting,
all right.
buddy.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking. And who do you work for now? What are you doing?
Military Department, State of Connecticut.
Military
Department.
Military Department.
Basically, it's our National Guard, but they have to have state employees that take care of the facilities. I take care of all the 33 facilities. We're the only ones that side of the Mississippi that take care of. We take care of the helicopters. We got a plant there because Sikorsky and Pratt Whitney and all that. So we rebuild the helicopters, rip them down from scratch, put them back together. I don't do any of that work. I just take care of the facility. That's what I did in corrections for 20 years. I work for the Adjutant General, 2-star General. So he is a state employee, he's a commissioner, and he's a 2-star General. And we have a 1-star General who's a deputy commissioner.
And how do they lean?
They're military.
Yeah.
Well, they're politicians too. If you get past.
Oh yeah, I know. When you get a certain level,
they're politicians too.
Yeah.
So basically, there's about 340 people that work for the state, not that aren't uniformed personnel. Just like what they do in the military, except at a smaller level. He has about 6,500. We should have about 7,500, but it's hard not.
Well, let me ask you this question: if the orders would have come down to go ahead. Well, they already got the guns. But
the bad thing is now, because we're fighting all over the place, they don't have as much ammunition as people think at any of the guard places.
Yeah. Well, that's another way they're trying to limit the ammunition. The plan is to get rid of, to disarm us.
Right. Because then it would be easier to take it over.
Yes. Yeah, but then we can make our own ammunition too. There's that's going on.
Yeah.
They're never gonna. There's too many patriots. There's too many people got too many guns. And a
lot of people got their face in the phone though.
Yeah, and
my father was a cop for 36 years.
And the other thing that I figure they might be able to do on us is use starvation methods. Cut off the food supplies, turn in your guns, we'll feed you.
Right. that's going to not in our lifetime, but our kids. The best thing is to talk to the little ones. I just got a granddaughter a couple of months ago, so
Congratulations.
she'll get mine.
right.
Sam.
Here's
My
a-
name's Sam, too.
All right, here's a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton for you.
Nice.
The grocery store shut down. There's going to be riots and whatnot, you know?
Well,
So,
I was here for Katrina. You don't have to convince me with that. Where are you
I couldn't
from?
imagine. Tampa, Florida. You're doing good work, man. Keep spreading the word.
What do you do there? What do you do?
I work at a nonprofit organization right now called Career Source. We help the youth get their GEDs, go to get certification for different courses and stuff like that. It's federally funded, and it's not necessarily that great. I thought it was going to be a lot better, but there's a lot of bureaucracy and whatnot within it, and it's all about just closing their cases. Doesn't really matter what kind of job they get, but as long as they have a job and stuff like that.
NGOs are always can be a very thorny. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
they can be used politically for.
Whatever means they mean to.
Yeah,
you come in with good intentions, but
Thank you very much. Well, you're very astute. How did you? What?
I'm going to be honest, my psychedelic use. I did mushrooms and LSD in college, and it kind of just burst my. I mean, like, I appreciate nature so much more now. You know, as you age, you overlook the beauty of life. And it just makes me focus on the small things and my family and what I can change, because ultimately it will depress you. I got very depressed learning about all this stuff. Like, I was born in '93, so it's been going on since World War II. Even before that, World War I was engineered. I mean, the Great Depression, the bankers did that intentionally just to show how much power they have. And
Where are you getting most of your knowledge from? Who turned you on?
it's mostly different sources online. So I read different sources, I compare them, come up with my own deciphering, you know what I mean? I don't believe everything I read, but at the same time, I was a history major in college, international studies as well, so I double majored, but
Terrific.
really about politics, economy, the wealth disparity.
You're obviously
I'm passionate about
passionate
it.
What else do you do besides try to wake people? You know.
To be honest with you, man, I've been trapped in Tampa my whole life. I'm trying to just travel more. I actually just applied to a job in Israel recently for a nonprofit or an international non-governmental organization called Amnesty International. So it's a human rights organization, but I'd be a researcher there discussing the conflict with the Palestinians and the Israelis. So I honestly don't know how in-depth it would be, but that's a dream of mine, just to find a job where I could travel.
Oh, sure.
And I don't plan on getting married or having children, because it's not going to last, man. Sadly, I'm very grateful to be an American. That way I can, criticize my government and not have to be killed
Masters
for it.
of War, Bob Dylan, you've hurled the worst fear that could ever be hurled. The fear to bring a child into this world.
And I believe the Bible very much so, and it says that in the end times people will still be graduating from college, they'll still be thinking they have 50 years ahead of them, you know what I mean, just living life like they still have all these years ahead of them.
It's normalcy bias. And just the numbers and demographics dictate that what's been happening for the past 50 years cannot continue to happen for the next 50.
When 2050 comes around, we will not have enough food or clean water to support over 10 billion people on this planet. It's just not possible.
There won't be 10 billion people on this planet.
I mean, the death toll is going to be going up.
They're already behind in their plans. A great number of us were already supposed to be dead.
Yes. If Hillary would have won, oh man, it would have been so much worse. War with Iran already. We would have been in North Korea. I mean, the goal is to get everyone on the Rothschild banking system, the IMF, the World Bank.
Still angry that we're still seeing
chemtrails, I understand.
The geoengineering going on.
Yes. And that's why I think, and if you were to discuss this with people who aren't aware, they'll call you crazy, they'll call you stupid, and it's insane.
What do you think I do out here on a day?
No, and I understand, and that's why it's noble, you know what I mean? Because people will laugh at you, but at the end of the day, they will realize before it's too late, I think Jesus will be coming back soon. I am very, Jesus died today, 2018 years ago or so, so.
Hey, Richie, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, just waiting for the day, man. But God bless you.
Oh, well, he has.
Yes. We're still here.
Yeah, he has. I've, doing this has, I get called a lot of things, but the gratification.
But it defines them more than it defines
you.
Well,
indeed. And that's why I YouTube it, so people can see that.
What's your YouTube channel? Do you have a thought or something?
Yeah, it's on the back of this get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll definitely check you out, sir. But keep up the
You
good work.
listen to InfoWars, I assume,
You know,
half the time.
I heard he was part of the mass disinformation, you know, because the CIA put in a program to get everything that the American public to believe is a lie. And they've done a very good job about it, because I happen to believe the moon landing was faked. I do not believe, I believe Stanley Kubrick was behind the directing of that. They recruited him because he was one of the best directors of the time. And if we made it to the moon in 1969, don't you think we would have gone there every year since then? We would have already had a base there. We'd have already been on Mars. Like, I really think space travel is all a figment of Hollywood. And
Who's
to,
to say we haven't? They hide it from us.
Yeah,
I mean, NASA has the biggest black budget of all the government agencies.
Very much so, yeah.
So we really don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
It's never been there.
True.
But
we're not taking care of what we have
whether
here.
Jones is a misinformation agent or not, that's conjecture. I would say that itself might be misinformation.
Okay.
The reason I say that is because I've had personal dealings with the man.
Really? Okay. Awesome.
You know, I think he's genuine. I don't. Maybe he's being played.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always a possibility too.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad he's spreading the word as well too. You know what I mean? But this child sacrifices and stuff like that, and the Luciferian, like very satanic, but they're masquerading as Orthodox Jews. You know what I mean? It's in the Bible, man. It's nuts. But keep up the good work, sir.
All right, sir. Believe in the global warming, or
I do believe in global warming. I just think it's funny. No, I very much believe in global warming.
do you think that man produces global warming?
I think man exacerbates it.
Exasperate?
My roommate at school is an environment policy major.
Yeah.
And she tells me, she educates me on the topic. I didn't know that much about it before. It's a dire situation.
It
we
is?
need to take it seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I blow your bubble right now?
Sure.
Okay. I helped start the Institute for Environmental Alternatives in 1971 with Professor Ron Cohen. I probably forgot more about this than most people know. I have blown people like the person you just mentioned out of the water with this one simple question. CO2 is the big boogeyman, correct? Too much CO2 in the atmosphere, am I right? That is the man. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that's they always harp on. Carbon dioxide, woo, right? Am I correct? Okay. In order to know how much or how little carbon dioxide is in the atmosphere, we have to know what is the right level and where it is right now and where it has been for a long, long time. How much CO2 percentage-wise makes up the atmosphere as we speak? What percentage of the atmosphere is CO2?
Are you asking?
Yes, I mean,
I don't know.
Okay. You think it's important to know that?
I think that CO2 is one of the issues, but it's not the only issue.
Well, it is the one that they are trying, that they cut, we say we have to cut down to zero. That we have,
I don't know. Actually, my roommate never talks about CO2. She talks more
and then
about
there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. I'm going to give you a synopsis of why this is a hoax. The amount of CO2 in the atmosphere is less than half of 1%. It's 0.04%. It is a trace element in the atmosphere. Now, it has been that way for a long time. And of that 0.04%, the best that we can measure, because it's such a small thing, 97% of that carbon dioxide is not man-made. It comes from natural causes, decaying plants, the ocean, volcanoes, you name it. So what we're talking about here amounts to a flea fart on the back of a dog.
Absolutely, but CO2 is only one minor part of the discussion about global warming. And
then what are the others?
Crisis. Natural resources, forests, underwater plants, animals, they're dying.
Yeah, not because of global warming, but here's the other aspect. I would ask you to look this up on that thing right here. If you look up the history of weather modification programs, you will see it going back to 1891. In 1954, President Eisenhower started the Department of Weather and Climate Modification.
Lieutenant Ben Livingston took that and became known as the father of weather weapons, which we used in Vietnam from 68 to 72. When that was leaked out, the UN passed the UN Weather Weapons Treaty banning the use of weather weapons. Now, it was a weak treaty. It's hard to know. Did you create that earthquake or that hurricane? Right? It's hard to know. It's a plausible deniability. It's a perfect weapon. In 1961, President Kennedy, in front of the UN Assembly, made this statement: "We will use today's technology to control the weather." Look up geoengineering. You will see the chemtrails in the sky. You will see the weather modification programs with your own eyes. We have been messing with the weather for a long, long time. Now, why do they want to make CO2 the boogeyman? With all the other gases and all the other things, pollutants that we put into the atmosphere, why CO2? I mean, it's an essential gas to life. Plants breathe it in. The more CO2, the better. They love it. They thrive. So, but why CO2? Why not all the other gases? So one thing they can say we produce. They can say, oh, you got a carbon footprint. That's bad. So we have to tax you. We have to tell you what you can drive, what you can live in, how much a thermostat can be. It's control. It is about control. It has nothing to do with science. All the models that they made for the mock-up of global warming are false. They don't have the information. We have no way of gauging between the tidal waves, the tilt of the Earth and the sun, and everything else that goes on. The measurements are too huge. We have no way. So they're false measurements. Look up Maurice Strong. Maurice Strong was a globalist Marxist who saw this as an opportunity to create a worldwide tax, which is the one thing they need for worldwide tyranny. Now, if you look up Agenda 21, which I'm going to give you some information on, Agenda 21 is the mechanism they're using through the UN to implement these stringent environmental codes on us to control us down to the local level. So they are in charge of our water, everything we use, every resource they use, they have control of. They can do that. So it is all about control. It's all about forming the one world government. The entire global warming hoax is on that. It is impossible to say that with the little amount that we put into the atmosphere, that mankind has any effect on the heating of this planet as opposed to the sun, which is the biggest driving factor of all, which is never mentioned in any of the global warming claims. And the one telling thing that you will never find is having any global warming proponents will come out and debate skeptics like me. You will never find it on TV. You won't find it in the lecture halls. You won't find it in anywhere at all, because they know if they stand up to a real scientist, someone that knows what they're talking about, they'll lose. There's no way they can back up their claims. So this is a political movement. I would sincerely, there's one scientific study I just read. It's called groupthink, the science of global warming groupthink. There's a paper done on why so many otherwise educated, intelligent people would believe such utter nonsense.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, let me give you some information on Agenda 21. ICLEI is called the it's International Council on Local Environmental Issues, and just do some read up and study up on this, and I think you might have some arguments with that friend of yours.
Thank you. All right, have a great day.
Here's how.
Thank you so much.
I assume a lot of the population is still in for drug offenses.
Yeah. It's either being on drugs, selling drugs.
Call something else. They've robbed somebody or burglarized somebody because they in that drug habit. You know?
Yeah. And he's finna get on the ass for some of these drug dealers, some of the big drug dealers.
Well, let me ask you this.
He want to get them off.
Yeah.
One of the things I just don't believe in prohibition. I don't believe it. I don't believe the government has the right to tell you can't drink a beer. I don't think it has the right to tell you what you can put in your body.
I understand.
And so and plus, making drugs illegal seems to make the entire thing go underground, and it breeds corruption.
Well, you know who's getting. You see who's getting rich from it. I mean, there's some in the United States getting rich, but most of your cartels or anything that's who's making all the big cheese or major money.
Well, look at MENA, for crying out loud, and what they did with the Clintons. I mean, we know the cocaine was coming in through there. So, I mean, the government. I mean, a lot of the banks couldn't exist without the damn, drug money.
What's the movie? What's his name was just in? We just saw about that's the Contra deal where they were shipping the guns to Colombia.
Yeah.
Bringing the dope back. What's the name of the movie?
That was a true story about Barry Seal.
Yeah, Barry Seal. Saw the movie. Yeah.
Good. American made.
Yeah, American made.
They basically show you we go down through this small town and there's everything decrepit, and then all of a sudden there's bank.
Mena, Arkansas, man, that was all tied in with the Clintons.
Exactly.
That was all. See, Whitewater happened right before that, and that was just a trickle down from that Whitewater stuff.
That's where Glenn Hintz died. Mena, Arkansas.
Yeah.
That's where he had a heart attack.
Do you ever think we're going to see this happen?
No.
Really?
We would have seen it already if that was going to happen.
Well, now someone just came out and says, well, Q let out that, they have 18,000 sealed indictments, allegedly. And Q let out that the middle of next month is when they're going to start unsealing. They did refurbish Gitmo. Now, there's only a few prisoners down there, but they put $84 million into refurbishing to take many, many more prisoners. So what are they,
What do you want to shut it down for in the first place?
Yeah, and I don't know if lock her up wasn't a campaign slogan. We're pissed.
Yeah, right.
We want to see some justice.
Right. You from here? Parts unknown?
Yeah. I've been here long enough to say I'm from here, but not originally, no. But, I just, I think everybody else is frustrated, man. We want to see some justice.
Yeah.
We want to see it. And if we don't get it, it's only going to get worse. And then things will collapse.
Yeah.
Because nothing lasts forever. No deception.
Yeah.
No country has ever lived or succeeded or gone anywhere but down that has a two-tier justice system.
Right.
Just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting.
I'll look this up. It always intrigued me about that 9/11 stuff. I just didn't.
Well, that is definitely a deep state operation. I mean, it's just like the Vegas massacre. We're not getting the answers on that.
Right.
I mean, they keep us in the dark and treat us like mushrooms on these things. And the school shootings. Look, there's one common thread. This would be close to law enforcement. Once is an incident, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. In nearly every one of these school shootings, it always turns out that the authorities knew the kid was on psychotropic drugs, and they always blame us.
Right. Yeah.
Falling through they're falling through the cracks. But let me tell you, I see it right now. Not only that, the United States is not set up to help mental health. I mean,
you see that a lot.
There's no money. Look, I had 3 people in our jail on commitments that we got to hold till they get a place to put them. And there's no place to put a guy that's surely something wrong with his head, whether it be from doing dope or whether it be from just that way, chemical imbalance of some type. He shouldn't be in jail in a damn concrete cell. He should be in a hospital or somewhere. If you don't fix the problem,
I talked to a mental health case expert out here a few weeks ago, and I asked him, what is the seeming cause for all of the mass mental illness, with outbreak of mental illness we're seeing? And he goes, I'm going to give the official version, and I'm going to give you what I think is going on. And what he said was, between the pharmaceutical companies, the poison vaccines, the propaganda, the chemtrails in the sky, the pollution, is yeah. You want to debate it? No. Or are you just going to be so stupid and walk by? This is an attack on us from all four sides, because if you look up Iron Mountain, which was a study conducted by Kennedy before they assassinated him, Iron Mountain was conducted, and it came out that we are the enemy of the state, the American people, and there was a program to go ahead and defeat the people of this country and put them under the thumb. One of the ways they were going to do it is through pharmaceutical drugs.
Keep them down.
Yes. I give you a get out of jail free card. There you go.
There you go. I got a key.
I only understood about 3 words out of that whole entire thing. You got to be able to slow up.
Look how much you need an outfit like this. This you would look so awesome if you were wearing that. Yes, you got the build, man. You can sport it.
You look like that little popcorn man.
America.
With the caramel popcorn.
I get to back up my popcorn though. See? I get to be able to talk. I got a life experience. I can match my life experience against yours any day of the week.
Can I take a picture with him? Do you mind?
Yeah, you can take a picture with the Trump supporter.
Yeah, I got you.
Fuck Trump,
we just like
yeah, that's it. That's your argument. That's your 2-word argument.
We like America.
That's it. I got it. Thank you very much for that intelligent conversation. That's really bright of you. You're going to go a long way in life with that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Going right in that orange vest.
Stand on that side of it. I'll come on this side then.
Nice. Perfect.
What? Did you get it? Did you get it? All right.
Yeah, intelligent conversations are few and far between.
If you'd like to leave anything in the old bulletproof vest fund, it'd be appreciated.
Stand next to that whole stand-up vibe. It's funny.
Where are you guys
so
from?
Funny. Birmingham. Yeah, not so far.
Yeah,
Right?
nice. What do you do there? What do you do in Birmingham?
We live and love and prosper.
Good answer.
We are.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
And here's a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton for you.
Have a good day, buddy.
If you'd like to leave anything in the Bulletproof Vest Fund, it is always appreciated.
It is, I'm just saying. That's funny.
Hey, I don't understand too what they came out talking about.
Anytime you want to have an intelligent conversation, I'm right here, pal. I'm right here.
Look, if you're a Trump supporter here, why he ain't supporting you right now? Why you out here doing this for tips?
You don't know what I am, because you ain't talking to me. All you're doing is running shit out of your mouth. That's all I take. It's like diarrhea coming out of your mouth. That's all I hear. Yeah. Where do you practice?
Well, we live up in Kansas City. So we're just down here, actually scouting colleges for this year.
I got a chance to speak to a mental health case expert out here a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And I asked him about what's, the seeming uptick in mass insanity that's going on. And he told me, this is what I answered. He says, I'll give you the official version, then I'm going to give you my version. His version is very, very, well, it was very telling. It put a lot of exclamation points on what I already thought. It's the psychotropic drugs, the vaccines,
Everybody else is in control of our mental health except for ourselves. We're not taking responsibility for us. Giving it away to drugs, giving it away to people, giving it away whatever. We're not taking control. Have a good day, sir.
Yourself.